I'm gonna say eyes out.
I simply cannot empathize with people who did not enjoy the halftime show yesterday. You know, like I can't put myself in the shoes of these like MAGA people who would see something like that and just be like, I hate it. You know, like I don't like it. Seeing all these people, joyful, you know, fun music, people dancing, you know, a message of love, and just being like, I hate to see that. I can't empathize with that. Can't relate to it. And aside from politics, just aside from all that, we got baddies up on the stage just throwing it, okay? All right, Jessica Alba's up there, her fine ass, and you're sitting back with your red hat and like, I don't like that. And across all issues, like I'm having trouble relating to people on the far right. But even things that are sort of this, just like fundamental, just like being able to like let people experience like joy and happiness and some sort of like vibrancy, you know, and having a problem with that. And it's becoming clear to me that in this country, not only is there a political and cultural divide, but also a spiritual divide, which I find quite ironic because the people on the far right will tell you that they are the most pious of Christians, the most. So it's not just a question of like unseasoned chicken and like la falta de sazon, okay? It's really a question of like uncultivated spirits. And I'm not sure if Benito can help us with that one.
He just said something most people are afraid to say. This isn't politics anymore, it's spiritual. And he's right. These folks claim they follow Jesus, a brown man from the Middle East who preached love and acceptance. Then they see Bad Bunny say, love is more powerful than hate, and go, I hate this? Benito quoted Martin Luther King Jr. on that stage. Only love can drive out hate. One of the most American sentiments you could express. And they still lost it.
This man, Bad Bunny, had a wedding at his performance. He had a wedding there. He said, God bless America. He gave shouts to many Latin American countries who had been meddled in and colonialized by America. And he said that the only thing more powerful than hate is love, which is a play on the old Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. quote of, hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And MAGA was told to boycott that. They were told to boycott that, go over to Turning Point USA and pretend to like Kid Rock, terribly lip sync through a dog shit song. That alternate reality MAGA living in is crumbling, big dog. It's crumbling because it ain't real. Never has been real. MAGA, they are obsessed with America looking one way. White, Christian, male. But it's never really been that. All the ills of this country, MAGA refuses to accept. The good that this country stumbles onto sometimes, they refuse to accept unless that good is just like white-centered. They simply cannot handle the fact that this place is built on the other. They cannot accept that brown folks are Americans too. They cannot accept the fact that some people are Americans and they were brought here against their will, and some of them had to come over here because America, the country, had meddled in their home country to such a degree they had to come here seeking refuge. They cannot acknowledge the reality of this place, so they stick their head in the sand. Meanwhile, these people love a margarita. They love some goddamn tacos. Huh? They love a Cinco de Mayo. They love appropriation. They are obsessed. They love a bachata and a salsa. They love that shit while hating the people who gave it to them.
Thank you. Somebody finally said the quiet part out loud. Margaritas on Friday, tacos on Saturday, Despacito at the wedding even though they don't understand a word, but the people who created that culture? Deport them apparently. That's like going to someone's house, eating their food, dancing to their music, and calling the cops on the host on your way out. You don't get to love the recipe and hate the chef, bro.
While hating people who make this place something amazing. They would rather burn it to the ground than see progress happening. Tick-tock, MAGA. The clock is almost up.
Wow. Touch the ass. Look at that. Oh. Wow. All the security. Oh, all the security and all the flags of the other countries. Okay, first of all, worst Super Bowl performance I've ever seen in history. There was so much going on. First, you had him running around with the flag of Puerto Rico. Second, you had every flag of every country. The only flag that should be waved at the Super Bowl is the American flag. Sorry, all these other countries have nothing to do with America. And the fact that his whole performance was about Puerto Rico really just shows how much he hates America.
Hold on. He just said waving the Puerto Rican flag shows he hates America. Bro, Puerto Rico is America. Puerto Ricans have been U.S. citizens since 1917, over 100 years. They serve in the military, they pay federal taxes, they die for this country. Waving that flag is no different than waving a Texas flag. It's a U.S. territory. This is 5th grade social studies. And funny how the same crowd offended by the Puerto Rican flag has zero problem waving the Confederate flag, the flag of people who literally fought against America to keep humans enslaved. But that's patriotic? The geography isn't the problem here, the education is.
This man who literally is against ICE, well, you can see in that video all his security around him and all the security that walked him into the stadium. This is the problem with these people. They are such hypocrites. They're hypocrites is what I'm telling you. The Super Bowl is one of the biggest sports events in the world, and we had someone who doesn't even represent America headlining it. When did our country become so anti-patriotic? When did we become a country where people put every other flag before the United States of America? I would have respected him 100% more if he sang in English, which he did not. You watch any other like Super Bowl halftime shows, it's always super loud. People are screaming and cheering. Nobody wanted him there, not even the people who were at the game. They were more excited for the halftime show to end than it to even go on. So shame on the NFL, shame on Jay-Z, and shame on everyone who was behind this performance. You're making America look like a joke. America comes first, not every other flag of every other country. So Bad Bunny, I hope it was worth it.
Oh, it was worth it, honey. And here's how I know. People like her are still talking about it. She said, I would have respected him more if he sang in English. And there it is. One sentence, whole argument exposed. Never about the performance, never about patriotism, just language. A brown man on the biggest stage in America refusing to shrink for their comfort. And she flexed 3 million viewers on that alternative stream? The actual Super Bowl had over 100 million. Your little safe space was a rounding error. That's like bragging about your lemonade stand while Coca-Cola does billions.
No one is dancing. Not one person. Help! Send help!
Usually the majority of the crowd at Super Bowl halftime shows are dancing or at least moving or nodding their head. Everyone is just confused saying, what is going on here? Are we in another country? Are we being invaded with all these foreign flags everywhere? He literally sounded like como logo, go logo, mogo, go logo. It's like, what? Are you? I feel disrespected. Literally, I feel disrespected watching that halftime show. Why don't you give us country music? Literally an American genre. And what's crazy is there was 3 million viewers when I was watching the Super Bowl halftime show at TPUSA, Charlie Kirk's YouTube channel. That shows you how many people did not want to see Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl. 3 million congruent viewers on TPUSA. Guys, let me know in the comments, did you watch, which halftime show did you watch? Also, if you're a Trump supporter, hit that follow button. We'll see you later.
Last night, during his monologue on SNL, Bad Bunny responded in Spanish to all of the Trump supporters who are furious that he's performing at the Super Bowl in 2026. This is great. Take a look.
Wow, thank you. No, but really, I'm very excited to be doing the Super Bowl, and I know that people all around the world who love my music are also happy, especialmente todos los latinos. Todos los latinos y las latinas en el mundo entero y aquí en los Estados Unidos, todas las personas que han trabajado para abrir puertas, más que un logro mío, más que un logro mío, es un logro de todos, demostrando que nuestra huella y nuestra aportación en este país nadie nunca la podrá sacar ni borrar. And if you didn't understand what I just said, you have 4 months to learn.
That line is going to live rent-free in their heads forever, and I am here for it. Bad Bunny didn't apologize, didn't explain himself, didn't shrink. Just looked at the camera and said, if you can't understand me, that's a you problem. They want submission. They want Latino artists to go, sorry, I'll sing in English next time. And Benito gave them the exact opposite. A shrug emoji, 2 of them, to the most powerful people in the country. That's power, and they absolutely cannot handle it.
That was just so good. And it hasn't even been 24 hours yet, and the MAGA fans are already melting down over what he said on SNL. The outrage from MAGA over this has truly been absurd. And as I've said, I wish they were as angry about homelessness, poverty, things like that in the United States as they are about Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl.
Bad Bunny has responded to Donald's rant about his Super Bowl halftime performance. The reaction came shortly after the halftime show ended and quickly started circulating online. The post was long and emotional and stood out because of how strongly Donald reacted. In the message, Donald said, "The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible, one of the worst ever." He continued by saying it made no sense and did not reflect what he believes America should stand for. He also complained about the music and the dancing. He said nobody could understand what was being said and claimed it was not suitable for little ones watching around the world. The post did not stop there. He also made a dig at the NFL and said the kickoff rule should be replaced immediately. The reaction instantly got a lot of attention online. Screenshots of the post were shared across multiple platforms within minutes. Some people were horrified by what he said, and others said they're happy that he's spoken out. During all this, Bad Bunny has spoken out Donald's comments. Underneath the post about it, Bad Bunny left a comment. In his comment, he put 2 shrugging emojis. But before you go, I want to know, do you think Bad Bunny's show was good, or do you think he was the wrong choice?
Oh, do you need a safe space to talk about your feelings? You know, I'm not too proud to admit that I hate watched some clips from that MAGA safe space halftime show that sheltered sensitive people from Bad Bunny's crotch grabs. It made Trump crash out because he hasn't been able to grab his crotch in years. And it occurred to me there is really nothing more peak MAGA than mocking people for seeking psychological security to discuss sensitive subjects or feelings, while their own crippling cognitive dissonance inhibits their awareness of the irony implicit in the callous fact that in every conceivable facet of life, those same people who identify as MAGA create safe spaces for themselves absolutely everywhere. In fact, the MAGA cult itself, like the glass cloche protecting the rose and Beauty and the Beast, is a safe space itself for MAGA people as the culture of the United States evolves past them.
This man just took apart MAGA masculinity brick by brick, and I need everyone to sit with it. The people who invented snowflake as an insult have built the most elaborate safe space infrastructure in American history. Their own social media because regular platforms hurt their feelings. Their own news because journalism made them uncomfortable. Their own halftime show because a Puerto Rican man singing was too scary. That alternative stream is literally a safe space, a curated environment to protect people from experiences that make them uncomfortable. Textbook definition. But when a college kid wants a quiet room during finals, that's weakness? When a queer student needs a support group, that's being soft? But a grown man needs Kid Rock to shield him from reggaeton, and that's patriotism? Olympic-level hypocrisy? These people could meddle in it.
Locker rooms, their man caves, their bathrooms, their gender-restrictive sports, the comically masculine and cowboy-curious vibe of all of their music, the entire category of spouse-hating comedy, their yacht clubs and private universities, patriarchal and hierarchical structure of right-wing religion, their increasingly isolated social media, in fact, their entire media ecosystem. And yes, their Elmer Fudd halftime show, complete with the "No Wabbits Allowed" sign on the door. You take it all together, there is nothing more sensitive, nothing more fragile, no snowflake more susceptible, fluctuations in heat that are virtually imperceptible to even the finest scientific instruments, and the right-wing men populating the pasteurized, homogenized, hermetically sealed, particle-free caverns that curate MAGA culture.
You know, all these bigots complaining about Bad Bunny and the Super Bowl halftime show reminds me of a story of one of my best friend's mother-in-law in Walmart. This old Texas Paul, hope your coffee's as good as mine. Well, I hope it's better. I really do. Yeah, growing up, my best friend's mother-in-law, she was born in Mexico. She speaks like 9 languages. She's a professor. Her and her daughter were in Walmart, and some nasty-ass woman walked up to them while they were speaking Spanish and said, "We speak English here in Walmart." To which my best friend's mother-in-law turned around to her without missing a beat. I love this woman so much. Without missing a beat, told that woman in Spanish, "We speak Spanish here in Walmart." Then she told her in French, "We speak French here in Walmart." Then she told her in Russian, "We speak Russian here in Walmart." And she just over and over, Italian and Farsi, you get it. I mean, she just went through it all. And then at the end, in perfect English, she turns around and she tells her, "Your educational deficiency is not my problem. Si no entiendes español, ese es tu problema.
Your educational deficiency is not my problem. I need that on a billboard. 9 languages. This woman speaks 9. And the Karen telling her to speak English probably can't tell the difference between your and your. When someone gets angry hearing a language they don't understand, that's not patriotism. That's fear. Fear of not being the center of everything anymore. Speaking multiple languages isn't an attack on English. It's just being educated, and apparently that's what really scares them.
We are not the same.
Keep your unfriendly neighborhood Trump swallower in your thoughts today. To you, this show is a beautiful reminder que seguimos aquí. To them, this was a godless, unlubed, ideological fisting, raw dog by diversity, DP'd by multiculturalism, jackhammered by inclusion, waterboarded by woke. MAGA sat there, all right, helplessly, as Benito ran a goddamn Latin American train on their Confederate snowflake asses. Like, to them, the Benito Bowl is a painful reminder that, for a brief moment, they had, and then lost, cultural dominance. Politics is downstream from culture, guys. It's not the other way around. These electoral college dropouts won an election, and for 15 minutes, they thought the national anthem would be rewritten to brown people. That was their cup of coffee in the big time. They'll be reliving that win, till they die alone, gargling biscuits and gravy and ivermectin by themselves during brunch at Cracker Barrel. So put yourself in their unwashed cargo shorts, all right? Sitting there with an ivermectin rage boner, watching The Great Replacement in real time and realizing there's nothing they can do to get people to like them or their Turning Point Pedopalooza show, fucking QAnon's Got Talent shit they had going on over there. And trust me, conservatives are not going to like how we're going to treat them when this fucking national nightmare is over. We're not talking about fucking tax policy. Brown people DM me saying they're afraid to leave their house. But there will come a day, very soon, when they're not. And the years of happiness they will enjoy when this nightmare is over will be 100 times longer than their performatively cruel Krispy Kreme commando bullshit. So I hope you enjoyed the Turning Point Trump Swallower Super Weenie Hot Jr. Safe Space halftime show, motherfuckers.
Breaking news. Bad Bunny responds to MAGA. Yes, let me explain. So Bad Bunny came out on a communications basically telling MAGA and the YT people that are complaining about his halftime show, you have 4 months to speak Spanish. Yes, love to see that, because absolutely, we have to, if the NFL is trying to diversify and globalize the NFL, then this is exactly what we need, especially at this point in time in the United States of America under Trump's administration, where it is clearly okay to be blatantly racist.
She's keeping it simple, and she's absolutely right. If the NFL wants to go global, if they want audiences beyond one demographic, this is what that looks like. Bad Bunny is one of the most streamed artists on the planet. This wasn't a favor, this was smart business. The fact that it also doubled as a massive cultural moment, just a bonus.
So yes, Bad Bunny did come out on a communications telling MAGA, telling all the people that are boo-hooing and crying that he is going to be performing at the halftime show, that he is here to stay, and that if they don't like it, that is too bad, that they should learn how to speak Spanish. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you guys think. Do you agree with what Bad Bunny had to say? I love you guys. Share the video. Have a great day.
It's genuinely crazy to me that we live in a time where MAGAs are more upset at Bad Bunny performing at the Super Bowl halftime show than they are that Donald Trump is mentioned in the files. Over 38,000 times. MAGAs keep complaining, oh, well, the Super Bowl was in Spanish. I don't understand Spanish. I speak English. Okay, well, yeah. But the files are in English. All of a sudden, you turn into Stevie Wonder and you don't see anything. MAGAs would rather have somebody who sings about wanting to be with underage girls perform at the halftime show than a brown person. Really showed you the priorities of these people. MAGA didn't care when Coldplay performed, they're British and they're white. Or when The Who performed, they're also British and white. Or when the Rolling Stones performed, they're also British and also white. Or when U2 performed, they're also white and they're Irish. And the craziest part of all, Bad Bunny is a US born citizen. He was born in Puerto Rico, which is part of the US. Sometimes it feels like education truly is illegal in the US. But there you have it, guys. MAGA is really showing where their priorities are. But anyways, let me know what you guys think.
And here's where their whole argument collapses. Coldplay performed at the Super Bowl, British. The Who, British. Rolling Stones, British. U2, Irish. Not a single word of complaint. But Bad Bunny, born in Puerto Rico, which is the United States, he's the problem? White British guy singing in English, totally fine. American citizen singing in Spanish, national crisis. The mask didn't slip, it fell off and got run over. It was never about nationality, and the fact that these same people are more upset about 15 minutes of Bad Bunny than their leaders appearing in trafficking files 38,000 times tells you everything about where their priorities are. Not with children, not with justice, just with making sure the halftime show is white enough for their comfort.
You're telling me this whole freaking time, I didn't know that all you had to do was speak in Spanish and they'll run away. MAGA, vete a la puta. Hope that does it.
So why is it every freaking year the MAGA people get upset preemptively over the Super Bowl halftime show? Anybody who's not white, like this white trash Kid Rock in the back, they get all bent out of shape over it. These MAGA people do. Over some performer at last year, Kendrick Lamar, they flipped the hell out about before it happened, during it happened, happening, after it happening, saying they didn't understand it. Of course they didn't fucking understand it. They don't understand anything that's good or innovative or anything like that. So they get pissed off every year, but it's okay when kids are put in cages and ICE is murdering people on the street and Trump probably diddled kids and may still diddle kids and did it for decades. That's okay. But God damn it, they're pissed off about the Super Bowl halftime show before it.
Bad Bunny performed for 100 million people, celebrated his culture, quoted Martin Luther King, and said, "God bless America." MAGA's response? Boycott and cry. His response to all of it? 2 shrug emojis. The culture war they think they're winning, they already lost. Not at the ballot box, at the halftime show, because culture just performed in Spanish to the biggest audience on earth, and there's nothing they can do about it. Smash that like button, subscribe to Mind Mirror, and drop a comment. Which reaction had you yelling at your screen? See you in the next one.